Hey guys, welcome back. On today's episode, we got a little bit of snow and my camera's falling, so, I'm going to really have to do something different with this camera stand. You know what? Forget today's episode, what I was planning. We're going to go and make a tripod. Stay with me.
I have a little bit of a confession to make. I've been trying to improvise as best I can to record the video footage that you're seeing now and uploading it to YouTube. And in doing that, I use my iPad. My iPad's a perfect camera. I can take care of everything I need. I can even edit on there when I want to. However, I don't have a tripod for an iPad without spending buco bucks that I've been looking online trying to find a tripod holder bracket and everything. So I've been using something else. A tomato cage. Yes, I admit it. I am using a tomato cage as a tripod. I would prop my iPad up in here, angle it where I want, and as you saw from the first clip in this video, sometimes the iPad takes off and slides and I don't realize it, and after I'm done recording a segment, and I think I've got it, I go and look, and sure enough, my iPad has moved and I've got nothing of what I was trying to record. So anyway, I use the tomato cage this way to prop the iPad up in here. When I'm outside, like in the garden, I would prop it up, use the points, stab it into the ground, prop it up in here, and try to get my clips. Now I got to thinking, how can I improve? Because this tomato cage is becoming annoying, and it doesn't provide the quality, stability that I necessarily need for my videos. I have this little camera tripod here that works real well. It has telescoping legs that extend out, but I have no bracket for my iPad to slide into or connect to and screw on with this little screw here to connect my iPad to it, so I've never been able to use it. Anyway, I got an idea. I decided that I could make a bracket that my iPad slides into that I could take and thread onto the top of this. Down here I have some hardware that I picked up at the hardware store. I have this little T-nut here. These little things, they're furniture parts. That is the 1/4 inch 20 thread by 5/16 inch long that fits this screw on top of my tripod perfectly. Now, I had to try to figure out how I was going to go from this to holding my iPad, because I'm not going to glue something onto my iPad case to have my iPad on there. So I had this extra piece of plexiglass up here. I think it's 1/16 inch thick. I had this up here, left over from a project. I decided that I'm going to take this, draw out a design on it, cut it out, heat it up, and bend it into the shape that I want. Once it cools off, it'll hold that shape, and it can be a bracket that I can slide my iPad into. And because this is transparent, I can record from either side of my iPad without having to flip it over in the holder to be able to see the screen. Anyway, stay with me. I'll show you what I'm up to. Now that we have all the lines marked out on our piece of plexiglass here, I'm going to go ahead with a drill bit and drill the corners on each of these spots where I'm going to be cutting so that I have a nice clean end to my cuts. Drilled, we're going to go ahead and start to cut these lines. To cut those lines, I'm going to use my micro vibratory tool on this. I'm just afraid that a jigsaw or another type of saw that has the up and down motion might break this plexiglass out. Because it is a little bit brittle, we're going to go ahead and use this tool here. Now that we have this all cut out, we're going to go ahead and clean up the edges with a bench sander. We're going to round off the corners and clean up all the areas where the melted plastic is still sticking to the piece of plexiglass here. Now we have all the edges sanded, we're ready to go ahead and start heating this up and bending it into the shape we want. this frame molded into the position I want it to be in, I'm going to drill a hole right through here so I can put my T-nut through and tighten it down onto my tripod. Now with that hole drilled, I'm going to go ahead and heat this up again so these teeth on the T-nut can go ahead and bite right into that plastic. Now in preparation, I have a bolt that goes through this T-nut that goes through this hole, and I'm going to have this on the other side to draw up tight against it. So I already have this all set. I'm going to go ahead and heat this spot up and get that T-nut into place. Okay, there is the final product. The iPad will slide right down into those brackets right there. I have cutouts on the back side so I can use the front-mounted camera. There is that T-nut there melted into the plastic and tightened down. I have cutouts here on the side so that I can flip the iPad over either way and I can still have access to the port. And on the opposite side would be the microphone, so I needed to have that accessible. So anyway, all in all, I think this is a pretty good build. The only thing I think I might do different is I might use a piece of PVC rather than this plexiglass. This plexiglass seems to be a little bit more brittle than I would care to have it. You can see the crack when I was drilling the hole for the camera lens to go through. So if I do this again, I think I'm going to be using some white PVC rather than the clear plexiglass. All in all, I think I did a pretty good job though. What do you think? There you have it, guys. I got my tripod holder bracket done for my iPad. Now I can start using this little tripod for my iPad when I'm doing my filming, and it'll help my videos be a little bit more stable. Alright guys, I'm all picked up, cleaned up, and my iPad is actually now in the new bracket that I made to go on the tripod, so I'm able to record a little bit easier here in the shop and outside and whatnot. So anyway guys, that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you being here. I hope to see you soon on my next episode. Until then, bye-bye.